All things are broken up into two groups: living things, like plants and animals, and non-living things, like a ball, a chair, a teddy bear. Living things are also broken up into two groups: plants, like trees and flowers, and animals, like tigers and lions. We are going to look more at animals. Animals are also broken into two groups: vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates have a backbone or a skeleton. Invertebrates do not. Let's take a closer look at vertebrates. Vertebrates are broken up into 5 groups: mammals, birds, reptiles, fish, and amphibians. The first group we are going to talk about is mammals. We know that they have a backbone because they are vertebrates. They also have hair or fur on their body. Another characteristic of mammals is that the babies drink milk from their mothers to get nutrients. Another characteristic of mammals is that they are viviparous, which means that they give birth to live babies. They are the only vertebrate group who does this. The last characteristic of a mammal that we will talk about is that they breathe with their lungs. Here are some examples of mammals. Although dolphins and whales live in the water, they are in fact mammals. And although bats can fly, they are also mammals. My favorite mammal is the elephant. And don't forget, you are also a mammal. The next group of vertebrates that we are going to talk about is birds. One characteristic of a bird is that they have feathers that cover their body. Another is that they have wings to fly and beaks to eat. Birds are oviparous, which means that they give birth to their babies by laying eggs. Birds also breathe with their lungs, just like mammals. The next vertebrate group we will talk about is reptiles. One characteristic of a reptile is that their body is covered in scales. They are also oviparous, which means that they give birth by laying eggs. Some reptiles have shells, like the turtle, and some slither, like a snake. Reptiles also breathe with their lungs, just like birds and mammals. Next up is fish. Their bodies are also covered in scales. They have fins that help them swim in the water. They are oviparous as well, which means that they give birth by laying eggs. Fish are different than the other vertebrate groups we have talked about because they breathe with gills. Amphibians are the last group of vertebrates that we will talk about today. The main characteristic of amphibians is that they have smooth, wet skin. Remember that wet means that their skin is moist or looks like it has water on it. Amphibians go through metamorphosis, which means that they are born in the water with a tail and then go through a change to grow legs and can live on land. Another characteristic of amphibians is that they are oviparous, which means that they give birth using eggs. And lastly, amphibians breathe with their lungs when they are adults. I am quickly going to talk about the other group of animals, invertebrates. Invertebrates, remember, do not have a backbone or a skeleton. Instead, they have an exoskeleton, which is a hard outer body. Examples of invertebrates are things like insects or bugs and crabs. To review, all things are broken up into 2 groups: living things and non-living things. We were focusing on living things, which is broken up into 2 groups as well: plants and animals. Animals are also broken up into 2 groups: invertebrates and vertebrates. Vertebrates are broken up into 5 groups: mammals, birds, reptiles, fish, and amphibians.